Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Doug, the Retirement Guy, and today we got another one for you. Who is better for your retirement accounts? NestYield EGGY or NEOS QQQI? We're putting them both up there because there's been so much input from EGGY and at NestYield, how people have started talking about it, saying, man, I'm getting great yield off of it. But remember, we never chase yield on this channel. We're always trying to find out who's giving us the best total return, the test total package. And we're going to do a quick dive and comparison between these two to find out, will they work in your retirement fund? Will they work together, or is it independently? Who is better? Let's get into today's video. Important disclaimer, the content is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It's not financial advice, and the presenter is not a financial advisor. Investing involves risk. Income is never guaranteed. Past performance does not guarantee future results in any way. If you need help, always contact a financial licensed financial professional, as we are not. Hey everyone, I also got to say, we got a brand new product out, and that is Retirement Made Easy, Living on Dividends, License Plate. I just got to put it out there. All this stuff that we're doing is to help support the channel. We're not looking for sponsors. We're not going out and aggressively, looking for people who advertise on our site, because that way we can be 100% biased. We can tell you the truth of what's going on with these ETFs. Well, these are some unique ways that you guys can help the channel, help support the channel. Every little bit helps. And right now for entry, only $6.99 gets you a full license plate. You can put it on a golf cart, you can put it onto your car, you can put it on anywhere you want to go. But just a simple little Retirement Made Easy. Hit that QR code, or take you right to our channel where you'll see all of our new products that we offer. But I wanted to tell you about our new license plate for only $6.99. And also, don't forget, we still have our coffee mugs out there at $8.99. Great gifts for someone who's getting ready to retirement, or if you're into it and you just want to help support the channel. So without that, let's get into today's video. So our retirement ETF showdown, who is actually better for a retirement account? We're going to look at yield, we're going to look at growth, we're going to look at total returns, we're going to look at the tax side of things, and we're going to give you a retirement verdict. It's EGGY, EGGY versus QQQI, which we all know QQQI really has been my favorite. It's one of my core holdings across the board. Now, what are these funds and what they're trying to do? Well, NestYield Dynamic Income ETF, better known as EGGY, is a high monthly income with a growth potential. Now, there's a particular wording when you say this stuff. It's a high monthly income with growth potential, not guaranteed. Neither one's guaranteed, but they're really focusing in on the high income and then trying to get some growth potential down the road. Now, it's a concentrated portfolio, about 10 to 25 high conviction holdings. It's covered call strategy. It's more aggressive, it's more concentrated, but it gives you that higher yield. Now, QQQI, the NEOS Nasdaq 100, is an index type fund. It's built around the Nasdaq 100 exposure, that big tech and innovation. It uses NDX index options to generate that monthly income. Now, a tax-aware options overlay with using the 1256 contracts. This is a broader structure, more established, very tax efficient, and realistically, these guys are going to give you an income with potential growth. So they both have the same goals, monthly income, but two totally different approaches. So our yield comparison, we're going to start off with yield, and I'm going to say this every time. We are not yield chasers on this channel. What we got to look at yield to find out what's it actually paying us, and then see how do they develop the yield and how does it fit in the bigger, broader picture with the total return. So EGGY gives you a 33.11% distribution rate. That's a massive yield, and normally that puts us in the category of high yield, whoa, hold on, put the brakes on, danger zone. Now QQQI, on the other hand, comes out with a 14.11% distribution rate. Now, this is given a steady income because we've seen this over time very controlled, very well balanced fund. But the winner across the board is going to be EGGY with the 33%. But high yield equals high trade-offs, more volatility, concentrated risk, option strategy risk, and you gotta watch the NAV movement of the NestYield product. Now we got the growth comparison. This is really the tortoise and the hare program. And I'll explain to you here. Is EGGY, the NestYield, is actually the hare in the race. You see them going crazy. They're going fast. They're running really crazy with that 33% yield. Now, year to date, they're up 8.67% in growth side of it. Over one total year, they're down negative 0.35. This is as of July 5th of 2026. Now, the tortoise in the race is QQQI. Year to date, they're up 2.78%. For 1 year, they're up 7.18. So when I come back and say the winner is EGGY year to date, but that's the hare, the tortoise in the race, QQQI, that well-established just consistency over and over and over. QQQI is virtually the 1 year winner, while EGGY is the year-to-date winner. And you can see 2.78 to 8.67, 7.18 to negative 0.35. Now we take a look at the total return comparison. This is where we really get into the nuts and bolts of things. And when we take a look at NestEgg's EGGY, total return year to date, 28.62%. 1 year, 34.66%. So when we take a look at that yield that was at 33%, we're looking at about a 1% growth side of it, but big total returns. Now QQQI, that we've always said was that established structured piece, is at 10.3 and 23.49. So you can again see that you're talking about a 9% growth with a 14% yield. You can see both funds are actually positive in the total returns. One is giving you full yield, so you're getting the full return as a yield, and the other one's giving you a mixture of both growth and income. So this is why we go back to EGGY wins the numbers game, but retirement demands more. So you need repeatable, reliable, and risk control between the two. So yield has gone to EGGY. We've said that growth side, really, when we do the full 1 year out, is actually gone to QQQI. And then when we take a look at total returns, well, you're going to say, yeah, the winner is EGGY. But remember, it's all coming from that yield side. Now, the expense ratios. This is another big thing. This is where expense ratios come into big play, is when you're going to hold these things for long periods of time. When you're in retirement, you normally are going to want to hold your product for long periods of time. So this one, QQQI, is going to win with 0.68% annual expense ratio versus 0.95. That saves you 0.27% per year. So every dollar in fees is a dollar not working for you. So again, all the numbers I show you have these built into it, but this is something that you look at long term across the board. The longer you hold it, the more money expenses it's costing you. Now, granted, 0.95 and getting 33% return, in the yield, great numbers. Even looking at saying you're getting 34.66%, so take 1%, you're paying that, you're getting those big numbers for a 0.95. So I don't think you can argue it, but realistically, long-term hold, QQQI is definitely going to win that one over time. Now, tax handling, hands down again, and I'm going to start off right off the bat. And then you guys have gotten smart on this already. I'm going to say, if you're dealing with a IRA, a Roth fund, realistically, either one of these two, because you're well protected ahead of time. If you're going into a brokerage fund, QQQI is going to give you that tax smart design and that tax advantage using the NDX index options, which are Section 1256 contracts, which give you the 60% long-term, 40% short-term tax gold treatments, capital gains. And then it's also built in tax harvesting opportunities, and the ROC is all part of the whole package. So they use every tool in the toolbox to reduce your taxes to the lowest possible amount. Now, EGGY NestYield is a mix of distribution pictures. The option premiums, dividends, capital gains, interest, that's a possible return of capital. The final tax picture is confirmed at 1099 time only. I hear so many people saying, well, they said they gave out their distributions this week and it was 89% ROC. I've been around this way too long to know that all that looks great. All of that is great reporting. At the end of the year, when they decide to make the final hardcore number on that 1099, that's what you got to deal with. So is it 99%? Is it 98%? Is it 70%? I've seen some come all the way through all year long report 90% plus, and at the end of the year they come back and say 18% of it was return of capital. So it's hard to plan unless you have a complete package, and that's why I think QQQI gives you that complete package. So I'm putting the tax winner 100% in the QQQI's point, and if you're using this in the brokerage fund, most definitely QQQI. Not saying EGGY is not good, because ROC is still a good patcher. I did a video on this, a couple of different videos on ROC, that it can work for retirees. That's if you're putting in a brokerage fund. Risk comparison. Now, NestYield's risks are going to come from NAV stability. Okay, are they going to be able to keep doing the 33% distribution rate? That puts pressure on the net asset value over time, because you've got so much yield you're trying to crank out of a system. That concentrated risk of only between 10 to 25 holdings, one bad bet hits the whole fund. Okay, so simple math. If you have 10 funds in there and one of them goes bad, that's basically 10% of your portfolio just went bad. So, even if you did that with 25 holdings, you're still, one or two, you're really big numbers that you're dealing with. Distribution stability, a high payout is not guaranteed, and the strategy is dependent. As it has been working, yes. What would happen in a bear market? What would happen if we really, shut things down? The newer and smaller fund, less track record, smaller asset base, and less tested in downturns. Now, QQI has its own risks. It's a tech concentrated, Nasdaq 100 heavy weighted, mega cap tech and tech sector. And if that sector turns downturn, it affects the whole fund. We've seen it already. If you've watched your funds, QQQI has dropped off because AI pullback. This gets hit. Anything to do with tech is going to get hit. Now, this thing does cap its upside. Options overlay limits the participation in strong bull markets. So capping that upside is going to control your growth. That's what, these are some of the disadvantages of these type of funds. But we take the good and the bad and put them together. So which one is better for a retirement account? Well, how I put this. I do a 3-bucket system. There's a foundation, there's a growth, and then there's an income strategy, So what I put this into, QQQI is actually my core retirement holding. The Nasdaq 100 exposure, the lower expense ratio, the tax awareness, because I do use this in my brokerage account. It's a more established structure, and it has that reliable income foundation. So I really call this one stability. And I built my emphasis into the core. Now, EGGY, the NestYield, this one is what I classify as a satellite income booster. Now, what do I mean by that? It's not going to be my core. I'm going to put a certain percentage into my core products. I will keep it in the core products. I will just live and die off of that. Satellite, I'm jumping in to give me a boost in income. I want that 33% distribution. I'm willing to try it. but I'm going to limit how much goes into it until I get further and farther proof that we're doing well. Give me repeated numbers year over year. Okay, I'm not in fear of missing out. I'll add more to it down the road, but it won't become my core until you prove to me 100% across the board that everything works perfectly in a bear market, bull market, mixed up market. Now, the aggressive income potential and the smaller allocation is what I recommend. I'll put a smaller allocation into my EGGY than I will a QQQI because I'm looking to boost my income side of it. So QQQI as a foundation in my income bucket, EGGY is the booster, not the other way around. So many people want to chase that big yield and put EGGY up front and QQI later. And I'm like, no, you have to do the right way. QQQI and then EGGY afterwards. Now, let me give you my final scorecard of this. On yield, EGGY wins it hands down. It's not even close. Growth and total return, realistically, EGGY is winning the total return race. QQQI gives you that better expense ratio, the better tax efficiency, and I really believe the core retirement holding, that stability, structure, and staying power. Now, if you're an aggressive income booster and you want that boost, EGGY wins. So you can see this thing's the teeter-totter. 3 wins one way, 3 wins the other way. So can you really guess wrong with these two? In a retirement verdict, I still put, as I told you earlier, QQQI is the core holding. It's the better core retirement ETF. EGGY is the satellite booster for better aggressive income. I think they work perfect well together as a combo package. We're not just chasing yield. We're building a paycheck, and the paycheck needs to last. That's why I think working together on these two funds is the best possible way to make it work. Guys, let me know what your thought is. Give me a thumbs up. Give me that like button. I appreciate it. It helps the channel. That's why I say give that to me. But leave me a comment. Which way do you think? EGGY or QQQI? Or put them together for a total equity boost across the board. And along with it, don't forget about our coffee mugs. Don't forget about our license plates. They're all there. Hit the link. I'll have it linked down below, or hit that QR code. We appreciate it, and thanks for supporting the channel.